I'm talking.
Are
Oh.
you on video, Sarah?
All right, we are going live. It's March 10th on a Thursday, 2022.
What?
Are you on a video? Sarah?
Welcome.
Yes.
Let's see, we're gonna mute
What?
you there, Sarah, because there's some background noise. We got Priscilla here with us. We haven't seen her for a while.
We're live.
Oops,
It's March
now it's my
10th
background noise.
on a
1
Thursday,
second.
20.
Here we go. Sometimes that happens. It just pops up unmuted, so you have to go back and mute it. We got Priscilla here with us. Priscilla, haven't seen you in a long while. Good to see you, like video camera. We got Sarah here with a wonderful background. I am woman. It looks like a woman with like a bun in the back there and a lot of strength. Looks good. Elise, I hope I'm saying her name right because it could be pronounced differently. Alec is here, still on the beach having fun. Eddie, good to see you. Hey, David, nice to see you. It's been a long while since I've seen you too. Patty, ooh, camera on today. I see your name, but camera on today is rare, so that's good. Good to see you. Pat's here. Nadea's here. Scott Kelly. You know, it's always fun to see people when you're talking versus just names. I know you're all here and listening, and no discrimination by any means, but when I see a smiling face or a reactive face or someone that is listening, it's you know, you can understand that it's nicer than just blank squares. Obviously, we got Elisa and Joseph and Kyra and Angel and Millicent. Gail is here, our wonderful Gail. Rima's here. Evelyn's here. Liana. Hey, Liana. And we got Evelyn, Marta, and Melinda. Welcome, Melinda. Awesome. All right. And many other students joining as we move along. And so, yeah, I was I was on a conversation with a student. Well, I'll first say welcome to any new low-hanging system members. These are our daily success calls. And on these calls, we talk about, I'm glad to hear at least, on these calls, we talk about mindset and different topics that help us really evolve into the business owner that we want to be. And, you know, these are not the how-to calls. So, you know, we do have some help afterwards. If y'all stay on, I will talk about it at the end of the call. But these are topics that we discuss, and we're here every day. So John was here yesterday. I'm here today, and John will be with you tomorrow. So yeah, yesterday I was on a call with one of our students. I was just kind of going through some things and related to the Launch 100 program, and which is our advanced program. And she was saying, you know, the thing that she is lacking most or missing most is persistence. And I thought that would be a fun topic for us to discuss today. And so, you know, first, what is persistence, right? Persistence means that you are constantly showing up, constantly moving forward, no matter the challenges and the obstacles in your way. And you know, it's very, very closely related to being consistent, right? Being consistent is you're showing up. Many of you, Alec, for instance, and Eddie here, you know, consistently show up to these calls, and I see them every time. You know, they speak up almost every time. That's being super consistent, showing up and taking part. And persistence is very similar to that, but there is a difficulty that is presented. So, you know, and Alec, we know he works and he has all these things, and Eddie works, but you know, they're able to rearrange the schedule and show up, and they're persistent about it, right? Another example can be, you know, going to work out, or, you know, doing a particular task that you really don't feel like doing, or maybe, you know, you're going to work out and you have some kind of a physical, you know, problem or impairment, or something is going on, but you are persistent and you go no matter what's in your way and what's stopping you. Actually, that ties into something that Alec was sharing last time that we were talking, you know, that kind of persistence of showing up and just doing it. And, you know, it's really interesting because the thing with our mind, right? And we can take this into our business. How many of you have sat in front of the computer and you're like, oh, I really don't feel like uploading these mugs right now, or you walk into the kitchen and you're just like, I'm not going to deal with all the things that need to get done, or there's this particular task that you just don't feel like doing, but it's persistence. It's that showing up, that idea that, okay, but this is, if it's a working out kind of thing, then, you feel great afterwards. And if it's achieving, your goals in the business, uploading the mugs, getting the task done, you also know you feel great about that. And you'll be rewarded with sales, right? That idea, the conversation with her also spiked around the fact that, she's wanting to see the sales come in, but the work, in order to get those products out there, it isn't there. And so, it can't be, you can't expect to get the sales if there are no buy buttons out there, right? So it is that kind of consistency, doing it time and time again. And obviously, once we are consistent with something, it becomes easier. It becomes second nature. We sometimes don't even have to think about it. You can think about, driving, for those of us who have been driving for a long while, or cooking a meal, maybe for some, just, quickly comes easy, cutting up a salad, or things, brushing our teeth. No, we really don't think too much about brushing our teeth. Maybe we're specific about how we, get to each tooth or whatever, but it's pretty easy. And it's the same thing like with these tasks. So, of course, in the beginning, for those of you who have just signed up, learning this new task and this new habit will take a minute. It'll take some time, but the consistency and then the persistence. So showing up, even though your day is full, you're working another job, you're doing all the things, you've got a family, you're caring for the house, you've got, I know many of you are caring for other family members and doing things and the schedule is full. But it's the persistence. It's showing up even though the obstacles are there, or the challenges, or the opportunities, however you'd like to look at them. These things that are kind of boggling you at the moment, right? Or really kind of asking you for more, asking you to move out of your comfort zone and do something in spite of what we feel like doing in the moment. You put in a quote, "You're driving." I didn't understand. Am I driving? I'm not driving. I don't understand that message there. Anyways, so yeah, as we understand, this idea of persistence, and I'll relate it. Maybe we can plug this in, the driving part, because it's going to be the vehicle that we arrive at our goal through, right? Because, it is that persistence, right? We have our goal, we know where we're headed, what we want to do, what we want to create for our lives. We've got this business, we've all signed up, we've paid some money, and we're here. And now it's that persistence, that consistency to show up and to get to the end goal. And the persistence is going to be our vehicle of transportation to that place of arriving. And that's actually, super exciting when we think about that, because, it's our efforts, it's our own efforts that we've put forth in order to really enjoy these fruits. Energy, effort, willpower. Those are great words, just showing up time and time again and really being this driving force of getting to your end result, which is the $1 million, a couple $1 million. What did you set there as your goal? And, oftentimes many people will experience obstacles, challenges, opportunities, whatever we want to call them, along the road. Even when we shared Louise Hay's story on Tuesday, I listed the obstacles that she overcame in her lifetime. And it's the same thing for, a lot of these people when we'll look them up and we'll kind of look through what they have gone through in order to arrive where they are today. There are, the road is full of things. And there's that song, put a bend in the road. I'm tired of straight lines. I don't know if you know that one, but that always, makes me smile. Oh, Karen is here. Wow. It's been a long time since Karen has been here. Good to see you. And so, that idea that we need those bends in the road, we need those curves, we need the eddies in the river flow when we're moving down the stream. We need those moments. We're not always going to walk on a straight path, because it really is on the winding road that we discover our own strength. That's one, that we get this, even we can rely on ourselves more, because we show up, we have our, we know that we're going to do it, and we have this self-confidence. We build our own self-confidence through showing up time and time again. And that's huge. That's huge. People can spend a lifetime just kind of trying to establish a healthy self-confidence and just, true self-worth and self-belief, self-love, all of these. Oftentimes there'll be a conversation, oh, well, just love yourself, love it. Okay, but how does that work, right? How do we get there? And we get there by showing up, by kind of saying, okay, wow, I'm here. I've done it. I know I can do it. I'm going to do it again, and it's going to be okay. And then you get this assurance, you're building this safety net right underneath you and behind you, and just kind of this force that is you, that is moving you forward towards your goal. And with that, over a period of time, over that idea of consistency, showing up time and time again and doing it over and over and over again, you are then able to build your self-trust. You trust yourself. All right, I know Karen's going to show up. Karen's going to do it. We've already done it. We know that we can do this. This is easy, right? We're going to do it. And maybe it's not easy per se, right? But we know that we can trust ourselves to get there, and that we're gonna have the most I guess I want to use the word joy, or it's not always fun, but at least the most interesting journey or experience that we're able to create for ourselves along the way. And through that self-trust and self-realization, we then are able to build our own self-love and like, wow, okay, I'm looking back and you did all of that. That's awesome. And, the future is going to hold magnificent things for us. And really, it's persistence that gets us there. It's that consistency. Again, I'll use the example of these calls, and I just kind of called out Alec and Eddie because they were right in front of me. But I've been seeing Scott Kelly on these calls for a very, very long time, right? Rima has been showing up time and time again. Patricia, Pat has been showing up lately since she's joined. And so it's just this kind of, all right, you're committed. You've joined this program and you're showing up. You're taking advantage of what you've already bought into, and you're here. And of course, with the Launch 100, obviously you get that extra support and people guiding you throughout the way, but you still need to show up. You still need to show up and put in the effort and be consistent and be persistent, because life is going to knock on your door. It's always going to, right? My last week, if we think about that, was a big, I wasn't able to be here. And that was a huge thing, because I'm always, when my, calendar is set up to be here, I'm here. And so, those ideas of, how life is going to come at us. And I know many of you shared on the call, I just listed Alec, but there were many shares. Now I'm kind of remembering Pat's shares and many others. And so that life is going to hand us some things and going to tell us, okay, here, this is your hand right now. And let's look at how we're going to move forward. And it's your persistence, because of these things that you were dealt, because of these obstacles, challenges, opportunities, bends in the road. I really like that one, the bend in the roads, or the, just these windy, curvy journeys that, even when someone is summiting a mountain, it's rare where they'll just kind of go straight up, and just kind of reach the top and come down. Usually there's a winding road around and around and around and around until you get to the top of the mountain. It's just, I don't want to say better, but it's like the required way to travel up, unless you're, mountain climbing and you're just going up a cliff or something. But usually, if you're hiking, you're going to go around a winding road to summit the mountain you're climbing. And that journey is the richness. That journey is, you're not going to be the same person that started at the bottom of that mountain and at the end and the peak. There's going to be some revelations, and you're going to discover things, and you're going to see things along the way. And it's going to be, maybe you stumble and fall a couple of times, and your feet are sore when you get there, or whatever it is. But as you arrive, there's this awe, this sense of wonder. And you have transformed along the way. And it's exactly like this for our business as well. Our ability to be persistent, to show up, to keep on doing the tasks, no matter what's going on. You set yourself with these, smaller goals and bigger goals. And if you said you're uploading 10 mugs a day, you upload 10 mugs a day and you get it done. And 3 months, 6 months, a year from now, how is our conversation? What is our conversation going to look like? What will you be reporting to the group? Will be completely different if we just kind of let things roll, and we'll get to it tomorrow and we'll see what happens. And, maybe today, maybe not, and just kind of allow ourselves to go into that nice little comfort zone and just stay. So I thought that would be a fun conversation. I see Eddie's already excited. His hand is up and he's ready to go. So let's hear from Eddie, our wonderful Eddie. Hey, Scott made it while we were talking. Good to see you, Scott.
Hello.
Hey, Eddie.
And once again, it's glad to have you back here. And I do enjoy these calls, but I started in this business June 23rd, and I procrastinated. I got disgusted because I had to juggle my job with trying to build a business. Now, I'm used to that because I've run business before. I still have not got past that disgust of having to go to a job and then get your energy back up and come back and get them. And then you got to sit in front of a computer. These other jobs I had you go, you went somewhere. I got to go do this. So persistence has to do with this. And I said it, I talked about think, belief, and knowing. You have to go through layers. Wherever you are, you have to build from there. If you aren't persistent, you have to work toward it. And it comes with this. Why are you doing this? Why? Answer that question. Why did you invest this money? Because some people might just spent some money. That's not wrong attitude. You invested some money in something for a reason. Why? I know my why. And so that job, okay, I took care of the job first. I got there and I started sitting in the break area. Months had gone by. Honestly, I've lost some bonuses because of my procrastination and disgust, but it's part of the process. It's part of the process. I'm sitting there in my break area. I start pulling out my drawing pictures. I start drawing pictures. Now, I've been doing this for weeks and weeks on. That's one of my pastimes. I get the frustration out of my head and go do something I love. Now everybody's coming around, wow, Eddie, ooh. What I'm doing is making the atmosphere better because all they talk about on the job is brokenness. And I got tired of hearing that. Where you going? Let me tell you something, people. I'm thinking you joined this business to make some money because wherever you were before, you wasn't making enough money. I'm guessing. That's a good why, but you need a deeper why. Why? Because not making money isn't going to cut it. There's got to be something that's going to get in here, beat you in your chest and make your blood start pumping. And now you got to, I can sit in front of this computer and do it because it used to be typewriters, IBM Selectric, because I'm a writer. And I learned to make speeches. Like you hear me right now, I'm writing this speech on the fly based off what I heard Karen say. And she mentioned Louise Hay. Get her book. I'm serious. Get her book, the one that made her famous, got real hearts all over. Because if you having a problem being persistent here, there's something blocking you. And you must move that block. Because when you do, the cells in your body, the trillions of cells in your body will start going hallelujah and working to give you everything you need. I'm talking about health. This is mental health. That's what you need, because your cells will sit there and go, because that's all, you ain't giving them anything to do. When you get a focus, that's what the cells do. I'm talking about your eyeballs, your lips. You see, she talked about teeth. Believe me, all that will change in your body. Your whole digestive system, all of it, it'll start changing, trying to give you what it seems like you want. Now, here I'm speaking, people. You hear the excitement in my voice? Yes. And I was a chronic procrastinator, but I had to cut through the crap. And don't worry about the bonuses I lost. That's all right. That's part of the process. Now I'm here, and these Thursdays, these Tuesdays, I come here and I'm fired up because I didn't get the other days in. So I put it all in here. Bam, bam, bam. You can get that because that's all up here. I mean, my hair looked like I stuck my finger in an electric socket. I look probably some wild professor, don't I? Like some maniac out of some movie. That's all right, because that's what I be doing when I get in this computer. I'm thinking of all kind of lines and stuff to put on a mug, to put on a shirt. I'm riding and reading people's shirts. And they looking at me, some kind of weirdo working in Walmart. I'm reading their shirts. I'm working on my business on my job because I started thinking about why I got involved with this. And I got involved with this to win, to make money, get some prestige, and use the talents God gave me the best I know how. And in the process, I get to meet all y'all wonderful people. Thank you all. Thank you, Miss Karen, for giving me an opportunity to tell everybody this. As you can see, and I just pulled this out of my hat, which I'm not even wearing one. This is
Eddie.
wonderful. Be wonderful at this, and you'll be great. Thank you, ma'am. You can have it back.
Thank you. You know, and it's great that you're also, you know, you're presenting. It's true. Not everybody's going to have, you know, the persistence right off the bat. It's something that we can build. And it's something that, you know, the more that we show up, the more that we find that willpower, the courage even to show up. And then we know that it's for our benefit, you know, and yeah, it's true. It's not always easy, and it's not always right. You know, oh, okay, we'll just do this. No, we have to build it, and we can do it. We can make affirmations every morning. We can make statements. We can make little, you know, deals and checklists with ourselves that we kind of tick things off and we get excited. We can, you know, give ourselves that good boost when we get things done, and we continue with it. We can reward ourselves with things that we like. We can do it in a favorite place, right? We can go to a nice little spot that we love to be in. And so we're kind of encouraging ourselves to get things done. And it's truthfully something that can be built. You don't have to be born, you know, with this. This is something that you can grow and you can cultivate, and everyone can build it. So thank you, Eddie. Appreciate that. Scott. Excited. You're writing. You're excited. So I'm excited to hear
I've
what
got
you
a few ideas. Honestly, Eddie is a very hard act to follow, I must say. Very hard act to follow. A few things came to mind. I think consistency, ultimately, look, I love the way Eddie structures things in the sense of thinking, believing, and then knowing. And I think if you look at a parallel with this situation, you could talk about doing, creating a routine, and eventually going on autopilot. And I think that is the aim, ideally, because the human brain loves routine. It loves going on autopilot because then it can spend the resources work on the things that vary from day to day. So the things that don't vary, it can just file and process and forget about. And I think that consistency is a very important end in itself. I think also asking yourself the right questions every day consistently, even if it's the same question, like how can I improve? How can I do better? That consistency in refocusing the mind to that mindset of how can I do better? How can I, you know, streamline the process or whatever? That questioning in a certain way consistently, that also leads to the routine of constant change and constant improvement, not getting stuck in the past. I mean, you see this in the Japanese idea, I think it's called Kaizen, where they say every little improvement. No matter what the idea is, we want all your ideas. Every little improvement helps to make a new industry, and which is what happened after the Second World War. They just took every single idea they could, and they said, right, we want all your ideas. So keep on thinking ideas. How can we improve? How can we improve? And they transformed their entire industry after the Second World War. That idea of consistently asking the right questions. And also, and what happens, I think, when you get yourself into a routine of constant improvement and constantly doing the things you need to do, the world around you changes and you don't realize it because it's changing to bend to meet you in a way. And one day you're so focused on just doing the job, doing the routine. One day you wake up and say, my goodness, where am I? How'd I get here? And you're the one who's shocked the most because you never saw it coming, and suddenly, bang, you've arrived. It's like you're going up a mountain, one step at a time, and you forget about where you're going because you're just focusing on getting through the routine each day. And one day you realize, oh, there's nowhere left to go. Oh, I'm at the peak. I'm there. How'd I get here? And you're the one who's most surprised because you've just been on autopilot and you've dealt with other things, but the main task has been done. And you're basically on holiday all the time because you don't have to think about it anymore. Even improvement, even the work that an Olympic athlete would do, the constant striving to improve, it becomes, even that change can be on autopilot. And that's the exciting thing about consistency. It doesn't have to be a straight doing the same thing all the time, because you redefine the same thing as being change. And when change is what you do all the time, then improvement is inevitable. And I think that's all I have to say for the moment.
Awesome. Yeah. Athletes are a great example to look at and really drives, get some strength and motivation from, especially, different athletes with different challenges. It's like, if somebody needs to wake up at the crack of dawn to go swim in the pool or go run their laps or whatever they need to do, it's exactly like you said, it's like on autopilot. They just get out of the bed, they just do the thing, they go and they do their stuff. And then, the results come afterwards. And then they're at the Olympics, or suddenly they're recognized and they got this medal. And it's like, wow, all of my efforts, my consistency, my persistence. I got up, even though it was cold and I didn't want to get out of bed. I have this physical impairment and I'm doing it anyway. And look at me, I'm number one, whatever it is. You really, over time, showing up time and time again gets you to that end result. And it's really a beautiful thing. And so I think, having someone to draw motivation from, to look at and say, okay, wow, yeah, okay, they're doing it, I can do it. This is going to lead me to the direction that I want to get to, and we can do it. I can do it. And so that is very helpful. I think that's also why this community is helpful, because we can see ourselves in others and we can listen. Eddie talks, Scott talks. We're going to hear from our lovely Priscilla in just a minute, and to hear the different points of view and how we've overcome things and how we've arrived. It's inspiring and it gives us motivation. We're like, all right, I can do it. I can do it today. I believe in myself and I'm going to do it. So thank you for sharing, Scott. Always great to hear from you.
Oh, Karen, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Can I just add one more thing? Just an idea that just came to me as you were speaking. So I just have to tell you.
Go ahead.
There's three things to do: the routine, the autopilot. There's a fourth stage. It becomes, if you keep on doing it, a form of meditation, like a moving meditation. And it means you're basically in the zone all the time. And that frees you so much. Yeah. So that's the fourth stage. It just came to me. I think that helps too. Sorry, off you go. Thank you.
I agree. I actually had a whole class about that on Sunday. I taught, that being in the zone, that feeling of really being plugged in, connected. And it's an amazing experience, and everyone can feel it. It's not, safe for a certain amount of, certain people. Everyone can feel it. All right, Priscilla.
Hi.
Hi.
I just, I loved what you were saying and what Scott was just saying. And this book, so I've been reading this book, The One Thing by Gary Keller. And it just, when you were talking about this lady who was talking about persistency, this morning, the one question that he was talking about was to ask yourself, what's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? And I love that question because it removes the feeling of being overwhelmed by everything that you might need to do to get to a goal, which is high and lofty and maybe very distant, but you can do one thing that will make everything easier. And so, yeah, so I loved what you said, Scott, and I thought it kind of tied into that. And because I read it this morning and I thought that's such a good question to achieve goals. Yeah, I thought I'd chime in. Thank you.
Love it. I love it. That's perfect, and even, when we focus on one thing, what is the one thing? And even if it's like the biggest task and we get it done right in the morning, first thing, it's like clear skies from there on, in our mind. Oh, wow, I did this. I got it out of the way. And now everything is going to be easy. It's very interesting how we can put these labels. This one is more challenging. This one is more difficult. This one is easy. And then we kind of create these restrictions for our day and for how we interact with the day. But when we get the one thing and we get that one thing out of the way and we can move forward, it's like there's an exhale. There's a literal like sigh of relief that comes over ourselves. And it's really awesome. So thank you. Thanks for sharing that. This was fun. Let's see, only 30 days to create a habit. Yeah, that's right. It doesn't really take a long time to create habits out of things. And there are fantastic books around creating habits like Atomic Habits and, and many other that are not coming to mind right now. But, just again, it's that idea of consistency, of showing up, persistence, even though, we don't feel like it, or it's not really what we want to do. We know that it's in our benefit. It aligns with where we're going. And we know that we're going to feel so much better after that. All right. Anyone else want to share, or I'm going to present the help call afterwards. So after this call, the community is so awesome that they, y'all have set up this help call after. So, I said in the beginning, these are not the how-to calls, but right after this call, as I end it, I'm going to click end, and your screen is going to go, kick you out. It's just going to be like, you're done. And then what you do is you follow the same link and you hop back on, and you will find your wonderful community here. And, we were talking about drawing strength and getting that kind of motivation. If there is something that is a challenge for you right now and that's not computing well, you show up to these calls, you get the help that you need. You have Adam, that on his calls Tuesday and Friday. And it's just, you plow through it, you move forward. Alec, is there something that you wanted to add?
Sorry,
No worries.
thought I was on.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you kept talking about persistence, and I kept trying to think of how exactly I could go ahead and bring up a topic for discussion, for my discussion, really. But yeah, it just reminded me of yesterday. And so yesterday yesterday was my final day for this boot camp program that I joined. Now I knew that it got me thinking of it because I knew from before I had even started, I already knew that first off, I was not interested in this. But yes, I knew that from the get-go. Like, okay, you know what? I am not interested in this, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it a shot. And so I was talking to the lady yesterday, and well, the one thing that I'm very against is kind of just like when somebody pretty much just lies straight to your face. So yeah, like I am very against that. So I did tell this lady in the beginning, you know what? I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna see this start to finish. And she was like, yes, yes. And so I'm watching as different people are kind of just dropping off as the course was about to finish. Mind you, yesterday was not my last day was on Monday, but yesterday was just I had to retake an exam. Just that, so yesterday was my last day. But the lady, I was already real excited, like, yeah, it's over. And the lady calls me up the next day and she's like, well, that day or Mondays, one of the days, and she's like, hey, we're gonna do a retest. Like, okay. She was like, yeah, so are you gonna do it? Now, mind you, I'm already getting thrilled and excited because, yeah, we're about to be done. And even when I saw her phone call, I was already thinking like, this is like, should I answer her phone call? Should I just send her straight to voicemail? But as I'm thinking about it, I did tell the lady I would be there from start to finish. And she had even said, she was like, look, I told you I wanted you to finish off strong. So if you start something, finish it off. I was like, okay. So I stayed to my word on it. And I even told her myself yesterday, like, look, it really didn't matter whether I passed or failed again. Yeah, yeah, because I mean, I did terrible the first time, but I was like, but it really didn't matter whether I passed or failed. Because what was really important to me was the fact that I told her I was gonna see this through. Like, so me personally, that just had I not seen it through, that would have gone completely against my moral of not liking liars. And that's not calling anybody a liar, but that's just saying, like, it's happened quite often. And then I read something today and it just made everything just make sense about me and like about myself. And so yeah, you talked about the persistence, and it's I mean, she even told me, like, if you ever do find interest in this subject, well, you have a year to come back. And I was like, you know what? Perfect. I can already tell you right now I'm not interested. But, you know, uh, I stayed to my word on I was gonna see it through. So there an opportunity did present itself. Now, will I jump on that opportunity? Probably not. Because I mean, I'm not interested in it. And I already know that that's going to be something that is going to become. I feel like when people do certain things that they don't want to do, that does create a certain type of person. That does create a very cold person sometimes. Not all the time. Not everybody is that way, but you know, in my experience, that's usually what happens. And just having that, just staying persistent to my word, really, just was a very, very good thing. And with that, we are almost out of time. So I am getting hungry. I am about to go eat right now.
Thank you, Alec. And you know what? I think I'm going to take something else out of what you said because I think it's very important. It was also a conversation that I had with my daughter yesterday, and it's the idea that we have to know who we want to be and how we want to act. And then make our decisions, our choices based on that. And that's what you did. You were like, I want to be this person who is true to their word, who follows through. It doesn't matter if I like it, don't like it, gonna use it, not use it. I'm kind of like, we don't know exactly what it was about and all that, but just that kind of idea, right? And you're like, well, but my moral standard, the person that I want to be, Alec, I want to be this person who has, keeps his word, shows up, gets it done. And that was all that was important to you. And I think that that's huge because you're choosing your traits, your moral standards, who you are in this world. And, we all have to do that. We all have to do that. And we, even how we interact, even a simple conversation with someone, we can be, really short and triggered when we're talking. And we can look at ourselves from the side and say, oh, is that the person that we want to be? Do we want to be that person? Or we can be courteous and kind, and we can go on and give different examples. We can leave people feeling in their best and great about themselves, or we can leave them feeling, not so great, or not having a great interaction with us, right? We can't really control what other people feel, but you know what I mean? And that's very important. Like we could have a whole conversation around that because it's core values. It's a moral standard, and it's like, but yeah, you tied it into just showing up, being persistent. You didn't want it. You don't, you knew it, you've already done it. That's not your thing, but you showed up no matter what. And I think all of us can take that into our business and show up because we've all made that choice and we've joined and we're here either on the, the low-hanging system or launch 100, and there are tasks that we need to get done. So let's get them done. So with that being said, if y'all want to stay for the help call, I've already explained how to do it. Thanks, Eddie. I appreciate that. Always great to hear from all of you. Really fun conversations, and I'll look forward to seeing you all here next week. Fun Friday, everyone. I didn't say Fun Friday tomorrow with John Lavinia. Bring your favorite tie, shirt, hat, pet, jokes, start the weekend off